Well, welcome everybody. I'm Ray Weller from New Zealand, and from Your Health is Your Greatest Wealth, and I'm going to be interviewing, or we're going to be hearing from Tatia Bray. Tatia is she's a hypnotherapist. She's a massage, she's almost a hypnotherapist. She's been studying it.
Yes,
she's
that's
a
right.
massage therapist, a Reiki healer, and she's a business coach. She coaches people that are in the health industry, which is amazing. So you're going to take us on a journey beyond self-limitation, Tatia, and I would just love you. I'm not going to take any more of your time at the moment, and I want you to tell us, how do we create this limitation?
Right. So as I was kind of thinking about how to kind of explain it all and where do we go from it and what I can offer, I'll just give you a little bit of background around what I'm doing right now. I've been a massage therapist and Reiki therapist for the last 20 years. Had my own clinic in Auckland with other therapists, and I basically got to the point of burnout quite badly and just needed some time to I needed to stop what I was doing. And so I ended up selling the business and moving down to Papamoa here in New Zealand. And I have been so appreciative that I've had the last 2 years to really do a lot of self-care, a lot of work on myself around my limiting beliefs, around the stuff that was kind of holding me back from showing up and playing big. So yeah, really super grateful that I've had this time. I know not everybody gets a chance to kind of slow down and stop, and but I tell you, if you do get the chance, it is absolutely worth it. So worth it to invest that time in yourself. So over the last 2 years, there have been quite a few books and podcasts and stuff. I just feel like I'm just absorbing it all. I'm really just taking it all in and going, right. I knew that I needed to move on. I wanted to move into the hypnotherapy and the NLP field, and I knew that I wanted to help other health practitioners, other massage therapists, and those people that work with a lot of other people, just in that giving sense, that sense where you're constantly, putting out, always giving, and not really taking in for yourself, which was my mistake. That was my mistake in my I was a young mum and I had young kids, and it was just that constant juggle of trying to do your job, do the work, run a business, and kids and all that. And I really got into my head around it, around not being good enough and not being good enough, not doing things right, all of that kind of the mental chatter in your head that just runs you down all the time, the critical voice. So I just wanted to take some time to just explain a little bit around the conscious and subconscious mind and how our brain works, basically, because this really was very helpful for me in learning how to work with those limiting beliefs. It's like, how do we get those limiting beliefs? How do they begin? How do they start? And when we're babies and when we're growing and our brain is growing, and basically we are creating pathways, those the thoughts. Oh, did I lose you, Raywin?
It's okay, I'm here.
Okay.
My internet was going a bit funny, so I just took myself out. I'm still here.
Oh yeah, good. So basically we create these pathways with repetition and just so babies learn how to walk, learn how to talk, they're hearing, they're repeating, they're making noises, and then you refine, and those pathways get stronger and stronger. And so as you're growing, and through your parents, through teachers, through anyone, you're just a sponge, and you're taking in all of these different ideas, and you're basically trying to make sense of it all and work it out. And then you might have somebody say, oh, be quite critical around something that you've done, and then you take that on and you keep talking to yourself. And so these limiting beliefs start creating, because you're taking them on and you're saying them over and over. So a belief is something that you have thought that has been repetitive, that you keep repeating, and then you believe it. And it can happen at any time, and sometimes it happens so gradually that you just don't even realize that you're doing it, that you're actually, that these things are oh, I've come up with this belief, didn't think I believed that, but actually I do believe that. And so it's a habit. And then I kind of see it as like the pathway through the forest. You start, and this is what I often in my hypnotherapy or in guided meditations, it's around at first you see the path and it's not tread very much, but the more that you tread it, the better the path gets, the wider it gets, the easier it is to walk through the forest, or the easier it is to walk through the bush. And so when you're noticing these beliefs, it's around creating new pathways. It's around giving your mind something else to think about. So I get all excited about it.
So it's fantastic work,
it's
isn't it, when
created.
you get into this. Yeah. So just going back on what you were saying there, Tatia, people don't realize that they've got it. It's in their subconscious mind from that programming, and subconsciously, you don't know consciously. It's not in your conscious mind. It's just subconsciously, and it just pops up every now and then. And yeah.
So that's the programming that happens. So as you think the thoughts, way back when you might have thought, and then you took that on, and it's kind of like you've downloaded that program into your brain, and then your subconscious runs with it, and your subconscious will run with it in ways that you just had no idea.
Oh yes, I do.
So like you do have an idea, and and you feel it happening, and you're like, oh, why do I keep doing this? And it's because that program is running in the background, and then it will affect how you go from there. It affects your behavior, and it affects how you do things from then on. So I've been working around with health practitioners, with massage therapists in particular, around starting to become aware of these beliefs, starting to listen to the chatter in your head, because that's where it shows up. So some of the things, one of the techniques that I've used is to do free flow writing. So take a subject, take something really small, like perhaps it's something, you can take a specific thing, and what I've been working with is around people's businesses, around how they feel within their business, or how they feel within their work. And if there's something that an area that you want to improve on, or that you're feeling stuck in, just sit down and do some free flow writing. Put the timer on, and take 5 minutes and just write whatever that comes into your head. Don't think too much about it, just start writing. And then you'll find that your feelings pop up, and how you feel. And that can be and oftentimes that negative chatter of I'm not good enough, or I can't do that, or I'm going to look the fool, or all those different things start to pop up. And then you have something to work with. So then it's around bringing light, and bringing what's the truth around it? And so if you can then bring up that, then you look through what's happened in your life to say, no, actually you can. One of mine early on was that I'm not motivated, that I procrastinate, and I just can't get motivated, and I'm not good enough. So much around that, not good enough came through. And so it was really around, no, actually, I'm run down, or I'm tired, or I haven't done my self-care. So there's no gas in the tank for me to actually become motivated. So the truth is not that I'm not motivated. And so where it started to really turn, I started to turn it around, was starting to really talk kindly to myself, to really be the cheerleader for myself.
Self-affirmations.
Yes, it's this, but it's catching it in real time. It's like, I shouldn't have said that, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, no, it's fine, let it go, it doesn't matter. Everything is fine. And really just catch yourself in real time and turn it around right then and there. And pretty soon you find that positiveness starting to come through.
I've got a saying, you don't should on yourself or anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
It's happened. Yeah. Now I just didn't turn that off. See what my internet's doing. It's putting me out. And another couple of things that I've written down while you've been saying that, we talk about these automatic negative thoughts, the ants in your brain. That's Dr. Amen. He's a brain specialist in the States. He's amazing to follow. Anyone, if you can follow his work, he's really good. And I always say you need to do a checkup from the neck up, and just monitor those thoughts. To monitor those thoughts and do a checkup from a neck up every now and then, and ask whether those thoughts are real. Are they true? Where did they come from?
It's shining the light on it. Is it really true, or is it coming from a place of fear, or is it coming from a place of self-doubt, or is it, where is this coming from? And finding, diving into what is causing you to feel that. It's oftentimes it's a fear. It's oftentimes just this this worry about what other people will think, or this, and so it's and then when you bring the self-love in and that self-kindness, then you find that you can go off and do things. And and speaking more around, so you've got these thoughts, but it's also the vibrations that are happening. So it's raising those vibrations and raising your vibrational set point, to reach for the higher thought, to reach for the higher feeling, the feeling that feels just a bit better. So if you find that you're really, really low, reach for the next level up. Reach for the anger or the frustration, and then reach for that next bit up, just to try and raise you and get to feeling better, because ultimately it's all about feeling better. It's all about raising that vibration
and accepting those feelings, acknowledging, accepting. Give them love, send it love.
Yes,
and you'll turn it around.
Yes. But going through those feelings, it's not necessarily around stopping it or trying to just, let it go or push something. It, because sometimes it's not possible. It's about actually sitting and moving through
accepting
those feelings. Yes.
It's like Mother Teresa. She would never ever go to an anti-war rally. She would only go to pro-peace. Because the words that you say, the pictures you create in your mind create your life. What you concentrate on, you get.
Yes. Where your focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of them, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I could go
Sorry.
on all day, actually. I hope you guys are all, got plenty of time. But this is your baby, Tatia.
Yeah. Yeah, so this has actually really just turned, and I've been working on that vibration, because it's around raising that vibration, which allow doors to open for you. It basically is then bringing in, so as we were saying, what you focus on is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're focusing on the negative, that's all that's coming in is going to be the negative.
Yeah.
And so it's around focusing on what you want and what you want to create, how you want to create it, and then feeling yourself create that.
Mm-hmm.
Be it, stand in it, stand in that before it's actually happened, because that's then what you will attract into your life.
That's so true.
So it's huge, and it's so happening for me. I love to see how all this wonderful stuff is just starting to really flow, because I'm now allowing it. I'm actually getting out of my own way. I've decided, I've really, it's time to play big. It's time to put myself out there. And the day that I decided that was the day you contacted me to do this. Like, Raymond and I haven't spoken
from years.
Years. Yeah, it's definitely been years. And then all of a sudden I'm here, right? Okay, I'm ready to play big. I'm ready to put myself out there. And Raymond asks if I'm interested in doing an interview. It's just
that is so amazing, and that's shifting your limiting beliefs, because we actually hold ourselves back because we don't feel good enough or whatever enough. Yes. Smart enough, clever enough,
not enough,
can't do it, not enough technology, and I've often said, oh, I'm hopeless with technology, but hey, I do quite amazing fun.
Yeah, you just got to give it a go, don't you?
You've got to just out there and doing it. Just do it, and it's amazing how your life shifts.
Yes, and that was that reminded me of the next shift that I had, was around, because a lot of my thing is around technology as well, is these thoughts that I have to have X, Y, and Z put in place before I actually do something. Oh, I've got to have my website up and going. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm not really happy with my website, so I can't really do that yet, because, and it's, or I've got to have this up and I've got to do that before I can actually get it. And that is all stuff that gets in your way. These are these beliefs that you've got to be better and do this and do that. And it's not true. It's around just moving, just starting somewhere.
Even Hillary started his journey by taking one step. Yes. And look where he got to.
Yeah.
So everything is just moving. Start moving forward.
That's right.
And start believing in yourself.
Yes. And that was, and it's also the momentum. Like, I find that, I have been working on getting the thoughts, and I think sometimes when you don't see it coming, and you don't see it actually happening in your life yet, then you're snapped back into that lack, that view of, oh, it's not here, and so then you end up bringing that in. But there is a momentum to it, so it's around sitting with that momentum and trusting that what you're doing is creating, and it's building in that momentum, and that it does take time for it to come through. It does take time for it to happen, and just keep working it, keep milking that what feels good to you, and what and what you do want to create, and seeing yourself in that next space.
Oh, yeah. And your self-esteem is so important. That's a major. If you haven't got a good self-esteem, then you'll keep having those limitations.
Because it's all around the thought process. The other thing, I listened to Joe Dispenza. I love Jay Shetty, and Joe Dispenza had an amazing podcast, and he talked about how so we have the thoughts. The thoughts get created, and those neural pathways. So Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist, and you guys probably already know who he is.
He's
but
good.
There was one piece that I hadn't heard before that made a whole lot of sense as well, is that there's a chemical that gets released with the thought within the brain.
With every thought.
And so with every thought, so you could be driving to work, and your normal would be to get frustrated and angry at the drivers, right? So you're driving down and all this anger and frustration. And so that loads a whole lot of cortisol and stress hormones into the system, right? So then you decide, well, no, I want to change this. So I'm going to be calm and relaxed. And so you're driving, and then your body goes, oh, where's my cortisol hit? Where's my adrenaline hit? And it expects to have that. And so then you're like, wait a minute. And so then and then it prompts you because it doesn't have it. And so the habit then kind of creates. So what was really good is the missing piece of that for me was that understanding that it does take time, and that you need to sit with that uncomfortable feeling, that uncomfortableness, until you can get your body and get your mind used to the lack of cortisol, that it's okay to not have that stress released. It's okay to be calm here, because when you're all, it's a habit, and it's an expectation, and it's a physical reaction as well as a mental habit as well.
Cool. One really good trick I always tell people when they can't really get happy, when you get really down, you're stressed, you're depressed, you're whatever, and people can't smile. I say, smile, put a smile on your face, and it releases endorphins. I say, I can't. So
that's
I say,
right.
get a pen and stick it in your mouth. Huh?
Yeah.
And that tricks your body into releasing endorphins.
Well, that's
and
great.
Do you know what an endorphin is? What endorphin means, and I've got it right here. It's short name for endogenous morphine, which is a morphine-like substance that the body creates itself. So it makes you happy.
And creates
I got this book, Rewire Anxious Brain, and it's brilliant. And it's got all of these things in it. And I was just reading that last night, and I thought, I must get that. And I put it in my office, and I'll just use that somewhere along the line. There you go.
Can you pop it up in maybe the comments, or when you got to put this online? For me, it has been really, like, the books that I've been reading. Another book that I read is female focused, but it's Tara Moore is Playing Big. And that was one of the first ones that I had heard about it from years ago, and a friend had recommended it to me, and it was sitting there, and I was like, oh yeah, but I wasn't quite ready yet. But it's around how we all play small, and
we do.
And about stepping up, and so I think these books are fabulous.
I've got so many books here that I just read, and I just keep in my little library, and I just keep reading them. Yeah, we've got a message here.
Yeah, thanks, Katrina. She's saying, talks a lot about sitting with your feelings, trauma, and letting them pass so that you process them. Yep. So that your body doesn't store the emotions in the body. That's right. Yes, I fully agree, that it is. And I work a lot as a massage therapist. I do work a lot with moving through those emotions and moving through, and because the emotions will get held in the muscles. And I often have clients that have an unexpected emotional response to the massage.
Cool.
Yes, that's actually, that's how I read it. With the audio book was the best. I'd take my son to Taekwondo, and I'd have an hour and a half, and I would sit and listen to Tara Moore on the audiobook. Yeah, it's brilliant. And hearing her talk about it. The other one I was going to get.
It's all good stuff. I love it all.
It is. This is the one that I'm diving into right now. It's called Positive Intelligence, and it's probably backwards, but it's by Shirzad Shamin, and it's talking around you have your self-sabotage, your saboteurs, and you have your sages. And it's around working with building up the sage muscle and building up your positive intelligence muscle, which then your saboteurs are not so strong. So then you don't end up going right into the self-sabotage all the time. I haven't gotten quite through it yet, but there are, it's not, it's not all around the thoughts that you have too. There's some really good physical exercises. There's actually an app that you can do that trains you over days. There's some physical things like wiggling your toes and doing certain movements that actually then increase your positive intelligence muscle and increase your sage response. And so then that self-sabotage doesn't start piling in again.
Just massaging your ears will help your brain. There's so many things. I do a lot of qigong work, and it's amazing what you can actually rub or do to yourself that will actually
to stimulate all those.
Good one, hitting your head.
Yeah, the tapping for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Does anyone have any questions, or is there anything that anyone wants me to? I'm just putting in his name and that here.
Oh.
Anything else we want to?
Yeah. Does anyone want to? Well,
any more?
Yeah. I'll just bring up a gallery view. Okay. Does anyone want to ask questions, whatever?
I was just interested in the last thing we're talking about there, which was the saboteurs there. And would that come into the Jungian archetypes? You could work with those 12 because they also have the shadow side, so it's kind of like shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say it probably ties in quite a lot. I think there's 9 saboteurs. 9,
oh my God.
The judge. So basically everyone has the judge, and that is the master saboteur. So that is your critique, the one that comes through and judges everything that you do. And so everyone has that. And then you have the minor saboteurs that play, that come in underneath. And so you've got things like the avoider, which is where you're avoiding conflict. You tend to just no, can't deal with that today. I'm just going to pop over here and any sort of conflict that comes up, it tries to remain even keeled, feels anxiety, but then you go into avoidance and procrastination.
It sounds like the fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses.
A little like that, yeah.
It is. And then the controller, you've got the hyperachiever. So those that try and achieve, are always putting in the, that is so focused on achieving. You've got hyper rationale, who will go through and analyze absolutely everything and make sure, which gets way out of the feeling. You've got your hyper vigilant, always anxious, chronic doubt, around self and others, continually intense and anxiety about everything, always on guard. And then
you put me in the hyper cruisy.
Yeah. Restless, stickler, victim, so all of these just pop in and play a part in
right.
in
and it seems
stopping
like
you.
one of those 12 becomes a dominant saboteur, though. I think the judge
So
is probably
there,
with it.
yeah, if you go onto the website, his website, he's got one of the tests that you can take to find out where everything lies. So the judge is the dominant, so that is the one that everybody has. And then it's wherever you sit within, all the others will sit. You'll have another couple that are dominant that come up and add in and chime in and like to put their nose in.
Are you familiar with parts work?
Yes.
Tasha?
Yes.
Right.
Parts
So that's what I
integration.
think.
Yeah.
So I think it also resonates with me there. So there's the vulnerable part, or you might call it the inner child, and they usually
Yes.
create the protector. And then
Yeah.
there's probably a saboteur protector, and then a over egoic protector to cover the vulnerability of the little one, and then integration.
That's right. And basically all of these saboteurs develop in our childhood to protect us, to get us
that's
through
interesting.
childhood.
I knew
Yeah.
Duncan in his childhood. He's a very different person now.
Don't you hate it when they know you from
Oh, it was the 70s, right?
Dear.
Interesting. I was just going to say, I might get in trouble. Rayron might slap me here.
I
For
can't reach you.
rewiring neural pathways, psilocybin has been proven as the most powerful compound to soften neural pathways for reframing. That's why it's starting to be used in PTSD and depression and stuff.
It's I think it's about taking out the critical mind too, so you're just relaxing and it's easing off, and then you can because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. And so it's when you go to use your imagination that you can then bring in those new beliefs. And so that is how you reprogram your subconscious, is through the repetition, through imagining and bringing in the new beliefs, your new way of seeing how you want to do it. And it's all around creative and imagination. So yeah, I can, I totally understand how the psilocybin would definitely aid in reprogramming and recreating those positive beliefs, because that's what you want. But that's also guided meditation as well. So guided meditation and affirmation. So you can do that on your own just by doing your guided meditations. Pop in what you want. It's really all around. You can do it yourself by going through. Create, what is it that you want to feel? What is it that you want to how do you want the outcome to come? You can visualize your day exactly how you want it to be, and then you create it in your mind how you want to feel, how what it is that you want to create in the day, and you watch it happens.
Cool.
It just happens.
We have Katrina, and I'm not sure who the other person is. All I can see is iPhone. Would you like to contribute anywhere here?
Hi, Raven. It's Tony. I'm in my dressing gown.
Hi, Tony. Okay.
Lying on the couch.
Fine. Anything you'd like to ask or contribute, or?
No, I'm just finding it all very interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, because a lot of the
great.
stuff's quite new to me, but be quite good to have some references for like some of the books and some of the people that I could maybe look up online.
That's cool.
Yeah,
They're actually in the chat. Can you see the chat on your thing? Because they've got
let me have a look.
And Katrina, you got anything you'd like to add? We've obviously lost Eve. It was past her bedtime.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, that's cool. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
We've got some interesting interviews coming up. We're going to do this twice a month. So the next one will be the 6th of October, and that'll be Deb Griffiths. So watch out for that one. And then the following fortnight, we've got a gentleman who is an ex-pharmacist and very
good.
conscious, and yeah, he got a little bit wanted to get away from the system, and yeah, he's very keen to share some information with us. And yeah, so if you know anyone who you'd like to hear, just let me know. And
I'm just popping in. Sorry, I'm typing away.
cool. Oh,
There
Joe
we go.
Dispenza. Joe's got, yeah.
Oh, amazing amount of
I've
information.
followed him for quite some time. Yeah.
Oh, He's done a lot of the scientific background, you know, basically
amazing.
married a lot of the metaphysical with the science, and that's why I love it so much, that there is some really good solid background behind.
What's his name? Braden.
Greg. Isn't it?
I've lost it now. He's brilliant. He's a
I think it's Greg Braden.
Greg Braden. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good to listen to too. It's real good common sense stuff too. Yeah.
They both look like used car salesmen though, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we're recording
They're
this.
smart guys.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tatia. It's been really good, very informative. Thank you very much for your expertise, and
Thank you.
yeah, maybe in a
Hopefully
month's time and come back again.
hopefully I've inspired a bit, and anyone out there wants to work with, you know, I'm happy to work with people. I'm doing my coaching now, so look me up. Happy to
Cool.
work with, help out
Great.
anyone that's
So type
interested.
your web page in the chat. Yeah. What is it? It's www.
It's tatiabray.co.nz.
Okay, that's simple enough.
So that's my email. And then I've got Facebook pages as well. Facebook.
Cool. So if anyone wants to keep in touch with Tatia, what I'm trying to do is have people that are actually in our group to actually motivate the group to be more interactive and help each other out. And so bring the expertise out that we've got amongst us. Duncan, if you ever want to be our guest, be our guest.
Right, I'll have to come up with a specialty first.
Okay.
Psilocybin. There you go.
Okay, well, it's been lovely
Awesome.
talking to you all, and I'll just stop the recording.